What is up, YouTube? We're going to be looking at the ARG this past weekend. We're going to look at the first place list. We got some trains, and we have some Infernoid for you guys as well. So, of course, guys, always enable those bell notifications. That way you guys can kind of know what's going on this channel, because we like to cover a lot of the metagame. So, I'm not surprised to actually get the chance to see trains actually make a splash on the metagame. With the release of the latest support, this deck kind of really did get a boost through the roof. A little bit better than I actually thought we were going to get. Of course, this variant is taking advantage of our friends that we don't play, but they're here nonetheless. I do think that trains as a whole, as a deck, like, this deck is one of the coolest things out there now, especially since we got Juggernaut Libby now. The fact that we're just going to be able to drop this on top of a rank 10 machine and just go with life is great. Literally, I can make this, and then make this, and then just have a super fatty. It's actually kind of crazy now that we can just stick all of our materials under one card. So this is a little bit of love to trains. So we have 2 copies of Ash Blossom, 1 copy of Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord, triple copies of the Flying Pegasus Railroad Stampede. This card is actually nuts. Literally on normal or special, you get to target an Earth Machine in your graveyard and special summon except for himself. Not bad. We have 1 copy of Glow Bulb. I'm indifferent about this card in this deck, but I kind of understand why for Natty Beast. We have triple copies of the Heavy Freight Train Derricane. This is going to be your extender as long as you have that Earth Machine monster. We have triple Night Express Knight, literally the card that everybody loves with skill drain. Drop this on the field, enjoy your 3000 beater. We have triple of the Ruffian Rail Car. This card, I mean, it's an end phase rota, like, no real complaints about it. And then 2 of the Super Bullet Express Bullet Trains. So, if all monsters you control are Earth Machines, you get to beam this guy out, of course, and it can't declare an attack unless 2 other cards you control are sent to, yeah, you have to send 2 other cards to attack this guy. But I mean, hey, it's 3000. It's an season material. It's what we're using it for. 1 copy of Foolish Barrel for the Global. 2 copies of Iron Draw. If you have exactly 2 machine effect monsters on the field, you will get to draw 2 cards, but then you can only special summon once after the resolution of this card. 1 copy of Desires. I definitely feel that he didn't want to extend too hard with this. Triple copies of Ye Old Revolving Switchyard. 1 copy of Shared Ride. 1 copy of Soul Charge. 2 copies of Terraforming, triple copies of Urgent Schedule. This is where it starts to get interesting. So we have 2 copies of Goza Match, 1 in Pre-Order, 2 Rivalry, 1 Skill Drain, and we actually have some hot tech here. Triple Summon Limit. Neither player can summon more than 2 monsters a turn. Negated summons count towards this limit. Negated cards and effects that would summon do not count. So, interesting enough, though. A massive powerhouse for this deck, actually. We have 2 copies of Cleavefort Genius, 1 copy of Mrs. Radiant. Of course, 2 of the new Libby. Enjoy just watching this guy slam through monsters at 6,000 attack points and steal games. 1 copy of Gustav Cannon, because burning for 2k is pretty good. We have 1 copy of the Sky Palace Ganganai. 2 copies of Pain Gainer. 2 copies of Super Gustav, basically Dora the Explorer. 1 copy of the 7 Sins. 1 copy of Natty Beast. And 2 copies of Shekanaga for the Shaddolls in the side. We have 2 copies of Prankatops, 1 Beast, 1 Dragon, 2 Econ, 2 Limit Removal, triple Shaddol Fusion, 1 Shared Ride, and triple Red Reboot, wrapping up this deck. I do think that this deck has a lot of potential for what it is. Don't get me down, like, it's trains still at the end of the day, but the new support did a lot for this deck. Now, we actually have an Infernoid deck as well for you guys. Sporting off 33% more Trap Trick. Actually, Trap Trick setting the Void Feast or the Metaverse is actually pretty fucking... I actually don't know if I would have considered Trap Trick in this deck. I probably should have, but goes to show. This deck is still evolving, and it's still doing relatively well, especially with the return of card destruction now. So we have 2 copies of Anaku, 2 copies of Deviati, 1 copy of Atondo, 1 copy of Seismitis, 2 copies of Shijete, triple copies of Ahram the Wicked Warden, triple copies of Lilith, and triple copies of Dinkatron. Unfortunately, this deck still kind of suffers to the same thing it's kind of suffered to this whole format, and it is just being a slower paced deck, actually. We have 1 copy of Card Destruction, 1 copy of Terraforming, 2 copies of Called by the Grave, triple copies of Void Imagination, triple copies of Void Vanishment, 1 copy of Void Expansion, ye old famous field spell, and then we have triple Lair of Darkness. Enjoy treating your opponent's monsters, take advantage of the effects of Lilith and, of course, Ahram. And then we have triple Void Feast, triple Trap Trick, and triple Metaverse. Now, the extra deck down here is kind of spicy. We have 1 copy of Link Kribo, 1 copy of Link Spider, 1 Underclock Taker, 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Phoenix, 1 Crusadia Equimax, 1 copy of Unicorn, 1 copy of Trisbania, 1 Boral Sword, 1 copy of Omega. We have triple copies of Ints, 2 copies of Tiara. Side deck, we have triple copies of Prank-Tops, triple copies of Twin Twisters, triple copies of Evenly Matched, triple copies of Mind Crush, and triple copies of Rivalry of the Warlords. So, I'm not surprised. Obviously, the ARG was a smaller ran event, and that's fine, but we still get to see levels of innovation and things like this. Having seen kind of what he's doing here, I almost want to suggest possibly playing something like set rotation. It might just be bad saying that out loud, but just something to consider. Outside of that, I think this deck, in the current metagame, it might be a tier 2 deck on the back burner, and that's absolutely fine for all intents and purposes. But the Void cards, Void Imagination, like, you can get this off so free against a Sky Striker player, produce such a large Tiara, and then just get free pops and things like that. Like, this card's just got so much insane ability currently in the game that it's kind of nuts. So, I do want to hear you guys' opinions if you have anything to add to this as well. I hate this deck, but I love it at the same time. I guess with Grass, it was just too much degeneracy for me, but that'll be left for another day. And then, last but not least, we have the winning Gouki list. Now, we've kind of seen this deck not so much struggle in the current format, but it's taken a lot of time for this deck to get with the times and evolve. And it's taken a lot of people a lot of time to want to figure it out. Now, this is, of course, Rongo Reminiad Turbo. Basically, you're going to end up producing Rongo with Rusty on the field. That way your opponent can't play the game. And, of course, this duelist is, of course, packing triple Xyz Encore. If you face the mirror match with this deck and you watch your opponent produce Rongo and you just happen to have this, then you're good to go. Like, this will deassemble the Rongo and you will be able to attempt to play the game, which is what you want to do, right? So, let's dig on into this bad boy. Goukis are still doing what they need to do. We have 1 copy of Risk Scorpio, triple copies of Suprex. We have triple copies of Neospace Connector. Now, the really dumb thing with Rongo Turbo, at least with the Gouki variant though, is I have the option to rip 5 cards from your hand. I can do the Neospatian Connector play with Aqualad and this guy. And it's kind of crazy because I think the deck only got better with the list, because now you can either rip 5 or I can not allow you to play the game. We have options now, and options are not a good thing. And of course, we have triple Blue Mountain Butterspy. This is going to be your typical extender. I like how we went from a format of nobody liking Butterspy to now everybody's trying this card. It's kind of dumb, actually. We have 2 copies of Twist Cobra, triple copies of Junk Forward, more extenders, 1 copy of Yi Ancient Cloak, 2 copies of Aqua Dolphin, 1 copy of Silent Boots. This will be your extender that you'll probably end up using. We have 1 copy of Headbat and 2 copies of Octo Stretch. Spells, we have triple copies of Instant Fusion, 1 copy of Rhoda, 1 copy of Soul Charge, 2 copies of Rematch. Actually shocked that he's playing this. We have 1 Monster Reborn, and by this I mean 2 of these. We have triple Called by the Grave. Spells, just triple straight DDR, 1 Phoenix Blade, and 1 Overdone Burial. No Living Fossil. This man just said, fuck it. And then, of course, we have 2 copies of the Shade of Brigadane, just to make sure that we can open them. The extra deck here, we have 1 Link Rebo, 1 Underclock, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Isolde, 1 Phoenix, 1 Rusty Bucket, 1 Unicorn, 1 Summon Sorceress, 1 Borreload, 1 copy of Gumblar, 1 Greedy Bamboozling Shadow, 1 Levier, 1 copy of Rongo Reminion, 1 Dragoness, and 1 copy of Rage. In side deck, we have triple Book of Eclipse, triple Twin Twister, triple Xyz Encore, triple Swords of Concealing Light, and triple Red Reboot bringing us to a close. Yes, I know there's still deck lists out there that you guys want. I am harvesting. We will see what we can find as time goes on, and I'll see what I can dig up for you guys. So please, leave a comment down below. What do you guys think about the ARG deck list? I'm happy to see that Trains had a successful event. Same thing with Infernoids, and I would like to hear what you guys have to say about these decks. Alright guys. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.